Hello, everyone. Welcome to 30-minute Ladies of the Kitchen chat. And I am so excited today to have on as my guest, and you're all going to benefit because I know many of you have said, how did you do what you did, Maria? And a lot of it, I have to honestly give credit to the lady that we're going to be talking to, Christine Vartanian, correct? Christine,
That's
I always want to go somewhere else with your last name, but it's so pretty, so I don't want to mess it up. And she is the founder of the House of Style, JADE House of Style, actually. And that's very crucial to what she does because it's part of her branding. And she'll be talking a little bit about that. And what she does actually out in the world, which a lot of us women entrepreneurs require, is to give us that little special emphasis on how we show up in the world, in the marketplace, in our dress, our appearance, and just literally how we want others to see us because we all have a story to share. So I hope I introduced you with some authentic love that you poured on me in your introduction. And she also has a podcast, guys, which is like so spot on because she talks specifically, it's the podcast Waist Up Wardrobe, which is every week. And she talks specifically about all the little upcoming fun things that are happening out in the world of fashion. And also has a lot of tidbits for us that we would never come across. So, with that said, welcome, Christine.
Thank
I'm
you,
so happy to
Maria.
have.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited about our conversation and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and that's what this is all about because there are two things that really bring women together, I feel, which is one of the ways we met, and that's community connection and food. And both of those are how Christine and I got together because we both love food. We like healthy food. We found some products that kind of united us in a community, and voila, the rest is history, right, Christine? How we got together.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's not about me. So I'm gonna want to ask my first question is, how did you get doing what you're doing? Did your first job kind of help you get there, or how did you even come up with this whole? I mean, you didn't wake up as a 5-year-old and say, "Okay, I'm going to be a branding specialist."
No, that's true. I didn't. But I was always a creative at heart. So that creativity is in my bones. So designing does not seem far off for something I would have wanted to do. But I took the scenic route, Maria. When I was getting ready to go to college, I my dream was to become an architect because I wanted to design buildings. I wanted to create these amazing designs, and that was my creative streak. But then my dad said, "No, you got to stay close to home. Just pick a major at the college that you got into that's close to home." And the closest thing I could think of at the time was civil engineering. So I ended up going to civil engineering, which is so technical in comparison to design, a
Oh my
very different
gosh,
route.
yes.
So I ended up getting my engineering degree, and then I applied to go to architecture school, and I got in because I was like, "Oh, my dream." And then my dad said, "No, you'll never make any money being an architect. You need to go to law school." So I was like, "Okay,
Whoa.
I'll go to law school." I was that obedient daughter, and I really wanted the dream of becoming an architect. But I listened to my parents, my dad specifically, and I went to law school. And then I got out of law school, passed the bar in the first try, and all the things. Practiced for 5 years, and then decided to stay home to raise my children for 10. So
Mhm.
as you can see, very much the scenic route. And today I am a brand and wardrobe stylist. I like to call myself a style architect because voila, I became an architect. And
Oh,
I style my clients head to toe, as you know, with wardrobe. So I style you, the person. I style their space. I design their sets and their space and their homes. And I do my fair share of brand styling, like creating logos and the colors like we did for you. Um, and this happened because after being a stay-at-home mom for 10 years, I realized that women do not self-care enough for themselves, and I wanted to take care of
How
them.
did that little tidbit become part of you and enter your being? Was
Yeah.
there something that happened? Was there an experience?
Yeah, I always talk about this, and we've had this conversation before about knowing your why, and that your deepest why, your greatest gift lies next to your biggest wound, generally speaking. And it doesn't have to be something tragic, but it lies next to something that really makes you kind of passionate about something, right? So I was very passionate about taking care of women because I saw my mom growing up not really take care of herself. And I thought, gosh, if she just did that a little bit more, everybody would be happier and she would be happier. And I was committed to really helping women understand this because women tend to sacrifice and they say that we're sacrificing for everybody else. But the reality is, they are the core and they need to take care of themselves before they can do that for anybody else. So getting them all dressed up so that I can up level them emotionally became my sweet spot.
Wonderful. So, was there any kind of resource, like a favorite book or person that helped you along the way?
Yeah. Um, so not specifically, other than I did end up a couple of years into my business engaging a business coach, which was really uh, that really made me change. Um, up level my business and it really got me to the next level, and without it I don't think I could have done that. As far I mean, I read a lot of books as all of us entrepreneurs do, but I can't say there was a single thing. It was mostly just wanting is so bad because I knew how many people I can impact, plus my mentor, mentor Allison Maslin from Pinnacle Global Network, is still my mentor to today.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I kind of want to take that to the next level. So, what investment, okay, besides spending time with her, do you feel a woman requires to put in besides money and time? What is the investment a woman entrepreneur needs to really invest in to bring her to the level where, or like you are, or that you want to inspire others to be at?
Yeah. I think it starts honestly, it starts with this outside self-care because it's never about the clothes in my business. It's never about like the makeup we put on, how we made our hair, how the earrings we're wearing. Those are just tools. But once you, and I'm sure many of your viewers have experienced this, but once you put on a great outfit, you stand in front of the mirror and you look at yourself and you feel good about the way you're showing up, you instantly feel this emotional uplift, right? So it makes you feel good. So that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to up level that confidence. So it's really important, even though some people might see it as superficial, it's really important that you put that little bit of makeup on, that you get dressed up in the morning, that you style your hair so you can go out and meet the world and meet all the people that are going to impact you. So first and foremost, that. Second of all, is your health and wellness. It's really important to find a movement, some kind of a movement. You don't have to be a super athlete. You don't have to be somebody that's running, marathons, but you have to find a movement, some kind of a way to move that keeps you nice and fit. And of course, the eating is important. Paying attention to all these little areas of life that build you up is really important. It's not enough to just do it for everybody else in your family. You got to do it for yourself too, and being mindful of how you're eating, and blocking the time to go work out, and making the investment in upleveling your wardrobe, or just like even if it's casual, it could be a very great feeling casual wardrobe. The other thing is education. I love to educate myself. Self-improvement books are like my thing. So I'm always reading. And I think that that really helps move me forward and learn a lot.
Wow. And I love that you wrapped it up in three because I'm all about the number three. I always tell people keep it simple. Three is like your divinity number, your inspiration. Everything is supported by a triangle, in terms of just universe and how it operates. So, yes, I mean, it's mind, body, and soul. That's basically what you
Oh
put
my
it in.
gosh, I feel like thoughts fly because when you're saying that, my next thing that I was going to say is that it's really important to work on the three parts of you, and that's your body, mind, and soul. So your body,
Exactly.
health and wellness and fitness, your mind, reading books and educating yourself, and soul, for me personally, I have a relationship with God, and whatever your soul you have to do to feed your soul, it's really important.
Exactly. And I think that as women, see if you agree with me, because I'm sure you run into contact with this, that we either do one in excess and we might neglect two or three, the other two, like, oh my God, I ran, like you were saying, I ran this marathon. I feel so good. And yet they can't remember the last time they read a good book because they're always running.
Yeah,
Or somebody that's a food fanatic that is so crazy about food, okay, that they don't even take the time to share it with others because they're just obsessed about what they're doing.
yeah,
So, yeah, I love how you said that. I love that.
yeah.
So, let me ask you another thing. What would you say right now, looking back? Because now you've been doing this for how long? Have you
10
a
years.
couple, yeah, that
Yeah.
that's a time period that you should honor, right?
That's a
So
decade. Yeah.
during that, yeah, girl, go. So during that time, can you actually say there was a pivotal, memorable moment where you go, wow, I'm
Mm,
doing this and this is so great?
hmm. Yeah. There were multiple pivotal moments. The first couple years, I had to do a lot of mindset work because I actually didn't believe that I could create a business out of nothing. And then when I met my business coach and I saw what people did and how successful they are with what they did. I mean, we were talking about a room full of business owners. Some of them were selling pigs, things that are unbelievable, and they're making millions of dollars. And while money is important because it gives us the freedom of being able to not worry about money, right? So I, I don't want to get into a full philosophical conversation about money, but it was important that I saw these successes, right? And then when I saw that, I'm like, well, I can do that too. And then I, there was a moment, the second year I was in my coaching program where my coach said, you need to do everything you're doing virtually, like over camera. I'm like, that I can't dress people virtually. She said, don't say you can't. You can and you will. And I tried it and I did. And then the pandemic hit. So it's a good thing I was doing my work virtually.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, so that was a pivotal moment, as well as the pivotal moment of when I created Waist Up Wardrobe.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, how many women would think that you could show up with your pajamas bottoms on and create like a love for just, oh, just these little earrings might be kind of fun today or whatever,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, amazing. And I love that because I know for me, I like to just feel good when I'm in the kitchen, and sometimes just wearing earrings or just putting on a little accessory, kind of like what one of my go-to cooks, Julia Child, she always wore pearls. And she said that it made her just feel like she was connected with her food because she felt good. So that feeling component, just that adding that little touch is such a good thing that you do in the world because you do it with so much information and wisdom tied around it that does help with the soul and the education part, which I really like what you said on that.
Yeah.
So, um, do you feel that you have had your "I've made it" moment then?
Oh no, not yet. I've made it, but there's a whole big legacy and empire that I'm building. And I'm very close, but I've been building and building and building, and I see it. I see it. I see it.
Mhm.
And I'm very excited about how many people it's going to impact and how it's going to impact me and my family.
And that was gonna be my next question. How has your family, your children, seen you change, evolve, and how do they enjoy or become part of what you're doing?
So, I really during the 10 years as a stay-at-home mom that I chose to stay home to raise them, I took that job so seriously. It was like the most important job for me. I wanted to be there for everything. I wanted to be there to give them the values, I think, to instill the values and to reinforce them and all the things. And I was there for everything. Um, and then, I kind of, after a certain time, you rely on them making their own decisions based on the values you've tried to instill in them. And they all have become overachievers even before I even started my business. But, I think they saw that came from an overachieving family. So they had that in them already. So they all really become great athletes. They really take their schoolwork seriously, and I've launched two into the college, past college. One is past college, and I've got two more on the rise. Uh, but I think my kids have seen me always try so hard and work so hard that they almost think it is normal. Like this is how people do it. And sometimes, honestly, I think they take it for granted and they don't realize um, all the sacrifices. Now, this is just kids. I mean, that I'm not, I love
Yeah.
my children, but the thing is, like, sometimes, you go, oh, um, I wish they understood better how hard it was to get here. Because I want them to be proud of me and I want them to support me. But kids don't always vocalize how they're feeling. So I know quietly they know how much and how hard I work. I just really wish they would say it more and
Which is
tell me.
every mom's wish, right?
Yes.
Oh, you're the best mom.
Well, I just want them to be proud of the things that I've built, because I feel like that alone, my journey in entrepreneurship, I believe, even though they might not know it or admit it if they do, I
Right.
believe has contributed a lot to who they're going to become.
Oh, I agree. And that's part of your legacy. I believe that you will live, or at least your work will live to prove that. I really
Yeah,
do.
that's my hope.
So on that note, how do you want to be remembered? Is there something specific that you would love to know people remembered you because of?
Uh, I want people to remember me because of how I interacted with them, how I may have touched them, whether it's just giving them a smile, if it was just, or handing them a good book, or teaching them something. I made a decision last year, was it? Because I thought this felt right. I felt like every person I meet, whether it's the person at Starbucks or the person like that's crossing me, I'm going to try and touch them, like impact them, right? So I, you know, I never hesitate to smile at anybody, that even strangers, and I never hesitate to ask people about who something interesting about them. And like even my soul cycle instructor one time was talking about him. He was getting married. They were going to start this new life. They were going to live in a small space. So I thought, okay, I have this book that I'm going to gift to him. And I gave it to him. So being able to touch people like that in small things, you just never know what the ripple effect is. And those little secrets of you just never know how much and who you're inspiring. I think that's pretty remarkable.
Oh,
So
I
that's what I
love that,
like to do.
Christine. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Now, what would you say if you had to pick a certain food dish or a certain food item describes you?
Ooh,
Ah,
ooh.
because I know you love goodies like I do.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have not thought about this one. So, okay, this is not going to sound good. You're not going to like this food, but I think it describes me. I would
Okay.
say I'm like an onion
Okay.
because I have so many layers and I am a deep person. And yeah, as you peel the layers, you get to get down to the core. And I believe that the core of me is loves everybody. I know that sounds very cliche, but the only way to live is to love people despite their shortcomings, and and treat people like they're your kids. Like that's how I treat people. Like anybody I interact with, I'm like, if that was my son, would I want to be treating him that way? If that was my daughter, would I want to be treating her that way? That's how I live. So I'm gonna say onion. I know I wish I would have thought about that a little bit more, but
You know what, though? It came from your heart. It was authentic. And for our viewers, I'm sure some of them realize it, but some don't. There's sweet onions out there, and they are tasty, man. So you just gave us a wonderful taste of yourself. And I love that analogy.
yeah.
So we're getting close to our ending here. So I want to get two more little questions in, and then we're going to ask you where we can find you. People can find more about you. So one of my last questions is there something that I didn't ask that you go, why didn't she ask me that? I would love people to know this little tidbit about me.
Yeah. I there's so many things. I mean, I could sit here and talk for hours, right? Um, I think that something that would benefit everybody that maybe you would be good to talk about is I am very strict about my morning routine. I'm very strict about it. And I believe that it actually helps me, launches me into a very successful day, no matter what is up ahead. I feel like it gets me grounded and centered, and I actually really enjoy doing it. I actually even enjoy waking up early to do it. And it's multiple steps, but each step
Okay.
doesn't take very long. But I really encourage people to set a routine, put it on your calendar. I have it on my calendar, set a routine. I have like a 10-step process in the morning, and I check off every time I do one. And sometimes it's simple things. Like my first couple things that I do in the morning is I drink 4 ounces of water, check it off. I take my vitamins, check that off. And then I have like I have an hour Bible study that I do because I'm in the process of handwriting a full copy of the Holy Bible. So I wanted to be able to learn it really well. So that's part of my routine. And there's multiple other things. But like you could see, the easiest to the more substantial.
That is absolutely so great. And I love the part that you said about it sets the pace
Yeah.
because there's so many people, and I'm one of them from my past where it was like, okay, what to do, get the lunches for the kids, get this person out the door. I got to go to work. Oh, is there gas in the car? And your head's just spinning on the next to do. And you're like this before you even get in the car.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sets the pace. So
And if I can,
beautifully
yeah,
stated.
if I can add, all my things that I do is divided into the three categories of mind, body, and soul. So
Oh,
my workout, my transcribing of the Bible, oh, and like I read a chapter every morning from one of my business books, and I have a circle of people that we talk about in it. Yeah, so like there's all these things, but it
yeah.
kind of is in those categories.
And I know you, for one, have movement as a big part of exercise. I do too. And I always tell women, because, I'm in my 70s now, and I said, it doesn't have to be anything fantastic. Even if you regularly walked
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 miles a day, you're outside, you're in nature, and you're moving. And
Yeah.
there's so many forms of movement, whether it's a gym, whether it's running, whether it's, salsa class, whatever.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
again, I think that that's where you come in, because when you talk with people, you start to find out, well, what is your why? What is it that you love? And all of a sudden you can suggest, have you ever thought of doing this? And don't worry about how you show up, because you're going to show up pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's wrap it up with one more question, and then tell us where we can find you. Um, do you have a person or a community that you really look up to?
Yeah, I have a person. My sister, who's 10 years younger than me, we're like clone copies of each other in the way we act and talk and conduct our lives and our values. And to be honest, I was 10 years old when she was born, so she's 10 years younger than me. But I will say that she's always been my role model.
You know, I'm feeling that because people always think it has to be somebody older that inspires you. And here you picked a sibling. I love that.
Yeah, she's
Um,
special. She's a special
yeah,
woman. Yeah.
good, good. And I'm sure she's feeling it right now. So where can we find you and how can people connect with you?
So my website is jadehouseofstyle.com, and you can look up at my website. You can contact me through there on my email, Christine@jadehouseofstyle.com. I also have a podcast, Waist Up Wardrobe, like Maria mentioned. It's called Waist Up Wardrobe. It airs live every Thursday at 11:30 on Facebook. And we bring you a brand new show about how to show up professionally for the camera, and even with your mindset, all the three categories: body, mind, and soul, whether it has to do with lighting, your makeup, your hair, the way you dress, or your business mindset. So it's all about entrepreneurship. So you can join us there, and you can always reach out to me on Instagram because I am on Instagram at jade.house of style.
Fantastic. And I'll put all those in our notes down below. So if you weren't, jotting it down real quick, you can catch it there. Thank you so much for today. And I hope our listeners found something that they can hold on, grasp to, and look forward to talking to you soon because we're going to always be in contact, Christine and I.
Yes.
So thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you on the next one, the third Thursday of every month. Ladies of the Kitchen 30-minute chat. Bye. Thank you.